This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 6.1.4 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus to state how chlorophyll transfers light energy for the process of photosynthesis. So here we have two diagrams. The first diagram is going to show wavelengths of light in nanometers, and we can see on the y-axis there is a rate of photosynthesis that occurs. So we can see that rates of photosynthesis are extremely high in the purple to blue wavelength, which is below 500 nanometers. And also we can see that the rate of photosynthesis is high in the yellowish orange wavelength. That is maybe around 650 nanometers. And the lowest point of rates of photosynthesis are in the green wavelength of light, which is about 550 nanometers. Now, this is a little bit more physics than biology, but we can see how it's important to understand this, where energy from light absorbed, whichever light it is going to be used to convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. So we need those particular wavelengths of light in order to have the process of photosynthesis occur. And there are some experiments that are done using different wavelengths of light to see what rates of photosynthesis will occur. So you can just use like a purple light or a blue light or a green light, etc., all the different lights to see where we would have the most photosynthesis occur. And so we know that it mostly occurs in the dark blue to red areas, not the green. And so chlorophyll is going to absorb light most strongly in the blue portion of the spectrum. We can see on the diagram to the left that that is a little bit higher as far as the rate of photosynthesis occurs. And then followed by the red portion of the spectrum. The chlorophyll is going to reflect light most strongly in the green portion of the visible spectrum, and so that's why we see the green color of leaves. Now, of course, sometimes leaves do change color, and that is only because the green pigment, the chlorophyll, is no longer in that particular leaf. It has been removed for whatever reason. Maybe the plant is entering the autumn season, and so they need to store energy through the winter time, and so they're not going to be doing photosynthesis at that particular season of the year. So when a green leaf loses the green pigment, then we can see other pigments that exist in the leaves at that time. But for photosynthesis, we need the green pigment because that's where the light absorption is going to happen at the highest rates. All right, so let's just very quickly go through the process of photosynthesis and what's happening with light and all of the components of the equation that we've already gone through. So first of all, water is a raw material that's used for photosynthesis. Water is absorbed through the roots of a plant, travels up through the xylem tube, which we'll learn about a little bit later, and eventually will get to the leaf, and those water molecules can be used for photosynthesis. The second thing is we know that light energy is going to reach the chlorophyll molecule, so light is going to come from the upper portion of the leaf and travel through the leaf and get into the leaf cells and be absorbed by the chlorophyll molecules in palisade mesophyll cells in the leaf. Now, what's going to happen is the light energy is going to split the water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen atoms. So that's what the energy is going to be used for. And then oxygen gas is going to be released as a waste product. So the oxygen gas is going to diffuse out of the leaf through the stomata, which is on the lower surface of the leaf, and it just diffuses out of the leaf into the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, on the other hand, is going to diffuse into the leaf through those same stomata on the underside of the leaf and will diffuse through the various components of the leaf structure, which we will learn about later, and then will diffuse into the thylakoid disc membranes, which, remember, those thylakoid discs are going to be inside the chloroplast. So the carbon dioxide molecule gets all the way into that small space. Okay, then the hydrogen from the water molecule that has already been split and the carbon dioxide are going to react and they're going to form glucose. And glucose itself is going to be stored as starch grains in the chloroplast. So anytime you have a photosynthetic cell, you can find, in a plant anyway, you can find starch grains in the leaf because initially glucose will be stored as starch in the chloroplast. Eventually it will be transferred elsewhere. As the plant continues to be doing photosynthesis, the storage space is limited, so it will be removed to be stored elsewhere in the plant, but there always will be a minimum storage of starch grains in the leaf within the chloroplast.